Chicago. They call it the Windy City. But for some, it's the City of Whispers. A place where secrets are currency and names are buried deeper than the bodies. Tonight, we're digging one up. This is the story of a man who was never there. A ghost who haunted the city's darkest corners. Anthony Russo. This wasn't your typical gangster story. Anthony wasn't born into the mob. He was forged in the deserts of Iraq, a U.S. Army veteran who came home to a different kind of war. No parades, no medals, just a pile of unpaid bills and a city suffocating under the thumb of the Lombardi family. Chicago's oldest and most ruthless crime syndicate. He needed a job, and the Lombardis needed drivers. The deal was simple. Drive, don't ask questions, and forget what you see. Anthony was good at that. He drove trucks, thinking he was hauling liquor or smuggled goods. But one rain-slicked Chicago night, the cargo was different. He pulled back the tarp and saw them, boaties wrapped in black plastic. That was the moment he understood the city's grimmest truth. In Chicago, even the dead have a price tag. Most people would run. They'd disappear, change their name, and pray the past never caught up. But Anthony wasn't most people. He stayed. The Lombardis, especially the old man Vincent Lombardi, saw something in him. Not just the soldier's discipline, but a cold, quiet rage that simmered just beneath the surface. They saw a tool, a weapon they could aim. They were right. In just 2 years, Anthony Russo, the truck driver, ceased to exist. In his place stood Ghost, the Lombardi family's most feared and trusted enforcer. His legend grew in the hushed tones of the underworld. No one knew his face. No one could ever prove he pulled a trigger. Yet rivals vanished. Witnesses went silent. Crooked cops had unfortunate accidents. Every single time, Anthony Russo had an alibi. He was always out of town. He was a phantom, a whisper on the wind, leaving a trail of bodies in his wake. But in the world of crime, power is loud. It draws attention, and ghosts aren't supposed to make a sound. By 2019, the FBI was tired of chasing shadows. They launched a massive operation, codenamed Kingmaker, aimed at dismantling the Lombardi Empire from the inside out. They sent in undercover agents, tapped phones, and planted hidden cameras. Every piece of evidence, every whispered conversation, pointed to one man, the invisible enforcer, Anthony Russo. They were building an airtight case, but then something impossible happened. A piece of surveillance footage that defied all logic. It showed Anthony Russo in 2 different places at the exact same time. One camera captured him at a North Side chop shop, overseeing a deal. Another, miles away in a downtown office, showed him meeting with a city official. 2 different men, wearing different clothes, but with the same face, the same build, the same voice. It was a paradox. How could one man be in 2 places at once? The FBI was baffled. Was it a twin? A doppelganger? The mystery deepened when they raided a Lombardi warehouse. They stormed the building, expecting a firefight, but found it eerily empty. All they discovered was a single laptop. On it, a security video file from the night before. The footage showed Anthony Russo meeting himself. One version, dressed in a sharp black suit, stood opposite another in a simple gray hoodie. They weren't fighting. They were talking, calmly, like old friends. Hours later, the foundation of Chicago's underworld cracked. Vincent Lombardi, the untouchable patriarch of the family, was found dead in his heavily guarded mansion. Single, clean shot to the chest. There was no sign of forced entry. And Anthony Russo, he was gone. Vanished into thin air. No flight records, no credit card activity, no digital footprint. It was as if the ghost had finally dissolved back into the shadows. The case went cold. But the whispers didn't stop. A week after the raid, a security guard at O'Hare Airport reported something strange. He told investigators he saw a quiet, tense-looking man with a distinctive scar on his jaw scar. Anthony Russo was known to have boarding a private jet bound for Canada. The FBI tried to follow the lead, but it was another dead end. The plane's registration number was a fake. The trail went cold again. For months, there was silence. The Lombardi family crumbled, and Chicago held its breath. Then, the killings started again, but not in Chicago. First it was Toronto, then Montreal, a high-level syndicate boss found in his penthouse, a rival arms dealer in a hotel. The method was identical, clean, professional, and silent. And at every scene, a single, chilling calling card was left behind, a polished silver coin placed near the body. Then, just as suddenly as they began, the killings returned to Chicago. Old Lombardi associates, FBI informants, anyone who knew too much. One by one, they were silenced. And the silver coin was always there. The message was clear. Someone was cleaning house. So what really happened to Anthony Russo? The official story is that he's a fugitive, one of the most wanted men in North America. But on the streets of Chicago, they tell a different story. Some say the soldier never left the city, he just changed his face. Others believe the man who came back wasn't the same one who left. They say the ghost wasn't one man, but an idea, role that could be passed on. Was Anthony Russo a master of disguise? Did he have an identical twin brother, hidden from the world? Or is the truth something far more unsettling? Perhaps the ghost was never just one person. In a city built on smoke and mirrors, maybe that's all he ever was, a shadow. A story whispered in the dark, a haunting reminder that some secrets refuse to stay buried. Thanks for joining us on this dive into the shadows. If you find these kinds of mysteries as fascinating as we do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories. Let us know in the comments what you think happened to the ghost of Chicago. Till next time, stay curious.